Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Courtside Hoop Talk. And with me tonight is J'Nathan Bullock, the reigning or Shine Elasto Painters. How are you doing tonight, buddy?
Great, man. How about yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. Congrats on your first season in the PBA.
Yes.
How's it been so far?
Well, you know, it was a great experience. Came in into a situation where it's kind of shaky for Brandon Shine. Started off at 1 and 2, and just wanted to come in and change it up a little bit, and so here I am.
How was your experience in the Philippines so far in terms of culture, people, basically everything, the way of life here?
I haven't really got to see too much because it's been all business so far, but
practicing games,
practicing
going
games,
back to the hotel. Yeah.
But you know, everybody is very friendly here and welcoming, so it's a pretty good country to be in.
It's good to know. So yeah, let's start off tonight's session by knowing a little more about your background. I believe you were born and raised in Flint, Michigan?
Yes, that's correct. Flint, Michigan, born and raised. You know, we're going through a water crisis still, and not to get political or anything, but it is what it is. You know, there's a lot of stuff around the world that's going on that the people could use better guidance, but we just leave it there to not get too far into politics.
Flint, though, produced a lot of great basketball players.
A lot of greats.
I'm sure you can name a few. Mateen Cleaves.
Yeah, Mateen Cleaves, Morris Peterson, you know, Flintstones from Michigan State. They all was like my big bros, you know. They looked out for me coming up, and they still look out for me, actually. We had, in Flint, you got like a good community of sports players that just stick together. It's kind of dying down now after like the economy get hit when GM left, so it kind of died down, but it's still coming strong. You got some young kids coming out now. I forget his name, but he's playing with the Lakers pretty good right now.
So. Is that Kuzma?
Yeah. So he's from Flint as well, and you know,
interesting.
A couple football guys in the league right now from Flint. So small city, but got some big names.
You played at Flint Northern High School?
Yeah.
Which league did you guys play in?
We was Class A. We was Class A in Saginaw Valley. And
Saginaw Valley, right?
Yeah. So
did you play with the Detroit PSL guys?
No, that was a different conference.
Okay.
But we crossed conference a couple times in like the beginning of the season outside of conference play. So you had like what was it called? Coca-Cola Classic around Christmas time where we would go down there and play a couple Detroit teams. Actually, it was a guy from Detroit in the league this year too, with San Miguel, Terrence Watson. We're pretty good friends. So yeah, you got some names coming out of Michigan and all.
So how was your stay there at Flint Northern?
Well, it was pretty good. You know, 4 years I played varsity. All 4 years for basketball, and then 3 years for football. I was both sports, the only 2 sports, and was All-American in football, but chose to go basketball in college. And
but I'm sure you were all state in basketball.
Yes, definitely. I was all state in basketball, and actually I was on the National Honor Society too for academics. So it wasn't just all sports. Yeah, I had to do that because my mom would have maybe do some more chores or something.
So your senior year of high school, I'm sure you're pretty recruited, pretty highly recruited. Tell us about the different schools who courted you, who recruited you, and why you eventually decided to go to Cleveland State in the Horizon League.
Well, the funny thing about it is that I actually signed pretty early and pretty quick.
All right.
And it was only reason I did is because we went to this AAU tournament in Kentucky called the Coaches Fest, Hoop Fest actually. And there, Tom Izzo, I'm pretty sure you know Tom Izzo.
Of course.
Was watching our games, and we made it to the championship, and we playing against all these bigger guys, and we dominated them. Flint affiliation, we dominated them and went to double overtime, ended up losing by one. Tom Winslow came up to me and said, you know, you're a heck of a ball player, but you're just too short. And, you know, that's tough to tell a 16-year-old kid at that time that's, you know, got a dream. And from there, I was kind of disappointed, but then Cleveland State came along, and I took an official visit and signed right away.
What year when you signed?
That was going into my junior year. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, that was pretty early.
Pretty early. I shouldn't have, looking back, hindsight 2020, but a free education you can't really complain about.
Or yeah, I mean, Cleveland State is a Division I school.
Yeah, it is Division I. We was had a 20-year losing streak going in. My freshman and sophomore year, we only won 10 games, and then we turned
10 games
around.
Combined.
Yeah, well, no, 20 games, but 10 games apiece each season. Yeah. And we turned it around. Like, we changed the face of that program under Coach Waters, and I'm pretty sure people in Cleveland remember that.
I've read that you've had a NCAA tournament run.
Yeah.
I think, was that your junior or your senior year?
No, it was my senior year. Junior year, we went to the NIT.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
The crazy thing about that NIT run was the year before was a losing team. And that next year, my junior year, we go to the finals against Butler. Butler is a story college. And we lose. And you think, like, okay, great, you in the NIT. Last year, you was nobody's, right?
Right.
But we were so disappointed from the loss of Butler, thinking we was going to go into the NCAA. We just went to the NIT and really didn't appreciate that opportunity.
Okay.
It's weird, right? So that was junior year, and then senior year, we beat Butler that year in the championship. We won the Horizon League championship, got the automatic bid, and went dancing. Went to Wake Forest first round. We was
we were playing in Wake Forest at that time.
Yeah, it was 12-5.
12-5. Right?
James Johnson, you had Aminu, Jeff T. Those guys, just to name a few. And we came out and we whooped them pretty good. Right.
Good.
We should have won against Arizona in the second round, but our offense went cold. But our defense held them. But, you know, that's the game. We was dancing, 12th seed. So it's a great experience.
Yeah. And actually, being part of the Horizon League, most people don't think it's a competitive league. But during your time, I mean, Butler, we all know the Cinderella story that was Butler at that time. I mean, they had like Sheldon Mack, of course, Gordon Hayward, and other teams in the Horizon were pretty competitive as well. Oakland.
Yeah, Oakland. Oakland is a newer team in the league.
Yeah.
But it was Wisconsin, Milwaukee. That was
Milwaukee. Yeah.
And then Detroit Mercy is a good one, you know, with Dick Van Tile and all that. So you have it's a competitive league.
Obviously, it's not the Big Ten or the ACC, but
definitely
still.
Not. It's competitive, and Butler was pretty much the big dogs in the conference. And you see, they went to the Final Four twice out of the Horizon League. So then it changed conference, but before that, they was in the Horizon League when they made that run, those two runs. It was pretty competitive, but none of those leagues had football programs.
So speaking of football, after college, you took an unusual route after college. I mean, usually after having a celebrated career in an NCAA Division I program, most players would pursue a professional career in basketball. You, on the other hand, pursued a career in football in the NFL.
Right.
Tell us more about that.
All right. Well, you know, the guy named Antonio Gates. He's still a tight end for the Chargers, I believe. And I got a lot of comparisons in that NCAA tournament run, and the buzz was coming, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take the buzz, and then I'm just thinking it's nothing. I'm a college kid, senior, you know. And then after we got put out the tournament, maybe 3 days later, you got ESPN coming into my classroom and stuff, and I'm like, oh, shoot, what's going on? Who they here for? And they like, yeah. So we said, we hear you about to enter the draft for the NFL. I'm like, I guess. You know, and so it just took off. And before I knew it, I was at a pro day at my school. It was over 16 teams there, and just for me. And I was just there doing the drills and stuff. And before I knew it, you know, I was just in a training camp for the Jets. It's just overnight.
I mean, how was that? How did that all unfold, though? Knowing that you played 4 years of basketball.
Right.
I'm not sure how in tune were you with football at that time, and you suddenly came in the camp.
Right. Well, I played football in high school. And,
you were an All-American.
Right. I was pretty good in high school, so you know the buzz was always there, and I got heavily recruited for football, but I signed early with basketball, and I didn't decommit. They came on, and my assistant coach had a friend that was Randy Moss' agent.
Okay.
And so he was helping behind the scenes, but I ended up not signing with him. I signed with another guy named Andy. And he was just like, you know, you really got a chance to get drafted. I'm like, that's crazy, because I haven't taken a snap of football since, you know, 2005. And so it was amazing looking back at it, that it was just an act of God, because I wasn't in nowhere near football shape. And but I had the raw talent for it.
And from there, I believe you were part of the New York Jets training camp?
Yes, I was promised a practice squad spot there for the New York Jets. When I got released, then the Browns tried to pick me back up. I wasn't really feeling it. I was having my basketball hoop dreams again, and I was kind of going through that emotional roller coaster.
Right.
And then at the Browns office, the GM called me in, and he was just like, I don't know what's going on, but after 3 months of training with the Jets, how are you worse than when you tried out before? You know what I mean? I was like, he's like, what's going on? You know, we had a talk, you know, heart to heart, and he was just like, go home and call me when you get your head straight. I didn't even make it home. I was off to Green Bay the next day. Yeah, it was a crazy time. And so I just, you know, did a little soul searching there, and I was like, you know, I'm not going to be a quitter. I'm going to give my best effort with the Green Bay Packers and, you know, see what happens. And so I went there, balled out, and they was ready to sign me for the 53-man roster. But so happened my mom had carpal tunnel on both her wrists at the same time. And so she was due to have surgery, and I told her I got to go back home and be with my mom. So that's how that story ended.
And from there, maybe you took a few weeks to a few months off, and you started your professional career?
Well, yeah, I took a couple months, like 3 months off, made sure she was okay, and then put my name in the D-League draft.
Okay, so that's how you started. All right.
So I got drafted to then the New Mexico Thunderbird, which is now the Canton Chargers.
Okay,
that franchise changed. That didn't work out. I was there for a while and then ended up getting released. And then I didn't know what to do. Somehow, like, I got a deal to Australia. It was my first overseas deal.
In the CBL?
Yes.
SEABL?
Yes, that's the league right under. So that was my first overseas gig. And we ended up winning the championship that year.
Right. That's the second tier league, right? Behind the NBL.
Yeah, that's it's right under. So it's not the state league. The state league is the third league. So it's the second, which goes on pretty much like the same as the Philippine league, the same time.
Okay.
Well, you know, it's
but you don't only play like 11 games.
No, there's 3 conferences here, but there's from late February to like end of August.
Okay, all right, not so bad.
Yeah, end of August, September. So
And from there, from Australia?
From Australia, I went to Belgium, top league Belgium. You know,
which team?
I was in Ultimate Ghent. I don't know if they're in the same league now, but then it was in the top league. It was just coming up from the second league.
How was your experience there? I'm sure it was a lot different from the Australian experience.
Yeah, it was. But I was still fresh out of college, so it still wasn't on the magnitude of Division I. You know that. So, but it was huge. It was really huge, and it felt like I was still hungry, you know, and I was ready, and I ended up playing well, but I got hurt. Yeah, so I came with an overusage knee injury to my knee, which was diagnosed 4th-degree cartilage damage. And you know, that's season ending, that's career ending actually. And, so that was kind of devastating news, but I went back to Cleveland State, seen the doctors there, and it was like, you know what, you just gotta rev up your rehab, build some muscles around it, and you'll be fine. Rehab about 7, 8, 9 months.
Wow.
To get back, and then I landed up in Iceland.
I think that's
see the roller coaster.
That's where your European journey really began.
Yeah,
I think the Iceland, Finland, leagues.
Kind of stayed there for a while, and I went Iceland, Finland, and of course I still have NBA dreams. So after Finland, I had a really good year, and I went back to do the D League again. That's when I was with the main Red Claws.
Right.
And I made it with them for about 2 months, and then a guy that was in the NBA got sent down, and of course when he got sent down, I got shipped out. So that's just how the business goes.
So how different it is playing in the NBA D League? I mean, now it's the NBA G League. And playing professionally in Europe and Finland and Iceland. Well,
it's more like a glorified college. It's like you got
the
all
D League, you mean?
D League, because you got all of the better players from college, and it's still not the NBA, but it's still the same type of game. And you know, the American game, basketball, is totally different from the European game. So
I'm gonna discuss more about that actually, the style of play in the PBA. That's to come later.
All right, we'll leave that later. But you know, overall, excuse me,
I think maybe the level of just really people wanting to take that next step to the NBA. It's really insane in the G League. Everyone wants to take.
Everybody believed that they're going to be the next call up. You know, and everybody believed that they deserve to be in the NBA already. That's why we there. You know, so. But I think it's a great talent scouting ground because they actually do work on developing players. You know, my skill set actually jumped a lot when I was training in that camp and doing those things there.
Obviously financially, it's not as rewarding as playing in Europe.
No, not at all. But now I heard that they changed that where now they're making it a little bit more competitive for players to stay, which is going to make the market interesting now going to Europe, because now they can't just throw any type of money. They got to pay guys. So. Yeah, make it interesting. It's for the younger guys for sure, you know.
Let's talk about your stay in Finland for a bit. I think that's the country where you played in the longest.
Yeah, I played the most. Yeah, I played the most there. I started in 2012, and I went around a couple countries, and I came back 15, the end of 15, and then the end of 16, and then I played the whole last year, 16 and 17, and it's just I had a name there, and I didn't really have an agent, so you go where your name is known. You know, I didn't have nobody shipping me and selling me in bigger countries or marketing me in other leagues. So I was marketing myself basically.
Okay. I mean, for the benefit of our audience, how did you do that? How did you go about it, marketing yourself?
Well, you know, you just gotta be consistent as a player and keep relationships.
Right.
I have relationships with my coaches and relationships with a couple of GMs of the teams, and you see, it was after the Cairo, it was parental all the time that we had a very good relationship, and still to this day, like before I came here, they was calling and say, "Hey, what's up? You all right? Are you coming back?" And I just told them, you know what, go ahead, like, I'm gonna be all right. Just leave me out this year, and I'm gonna find my way. And I ended up finding an agent, so it was just a blessing.
Sounds good. So, did you know any of the basketball players who represented Finland in the Eurobasket? They have this guy who plays in the Chicago Bulls, Lauri Markkanen.
Oh, he's a new guy. He's
young player.
He's young,
right.
But Sean Huff, he played. I don't know if Huff is his last name, but Sean, he played for Valparaiso when we was in the Horizon League. So I remember him from the Horizon.
Is he a naturalized Finnish, or
I think he's half and half. Yeah, half and half. He's not naturalized, but he's half and half. I think he was born there, if not mistaken.
All right.
But one of my teammates was a national team player, Jonas Calvin. The guy got so much talent, but just don't want to. I don't know, really. I don't know what's.
Did he play with the Finnish national team?
Yeah, he played with the Finnish national team. Not this year, but the year before.
Okay.
And he was in the D League as well. He was the Lauren guy before the Lauren guy. So,
okay. Yeah. There's a lot of hype about that Laurie guy.
Yeah. He
can shoot the ball.
He dominated at Arizona, right?
Yeah. Arizona, right?
He played at Arizona, and he looks like a stud. He looks like a stud, and the guy Porzingis is paving the way for him. So, because he's doing really good with the Knicks, and so it makes basketball interesting worldwide.
Yeah. Talk about your stint in Iceland a bit. I believe that's where you won the championship.
Where?
In Iceland.
Iceland as well, yeah.
You were the foreign player of the year.
Yeah. I had a huge year, and coming off that knee injury, just had a lot to prove, and feeling as if like I was slated. I didn't feel like coming from Cleveland State and doing what we did, March Madness and all that I dropped all the way down to Iceland. You know what I mean? But I was still grateful for the opportunity, and thankful that I was still able to continue to play basketball.
Of course.
But yeah, I went there with a chip on my shoulder, and came out with a championship. So it worked out, and then from there, I bounced to Finland, and it's just funny how things play out like that.
Yeah. We're able to play with Cox, I think, Christopher A. Cox. He's just Icelandic playing with Star right now.
Yeah. No, I think he's younger. But I heard about him
also in the States. Yeah.
Right. I heard about him, but I never ran across him in the basketball circuit yet. So he looks like an energetic guy, and he's playing well and got stars. That fourth seed that we was fighting for. It's tough, 7-4 split.
Yeah, that's the challenging thing about those 11-game conferences.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just really a difference of 1 or 2 games between number 1 and number 6. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was. But it makes it interesting.
Definitely makes every game really competitive. Right. So tell me, how did you end up in the Philippines?
Well, okay. Well, in the States, in Vegas, you have this thing called the KBL pre-draft.
Oh yeah, you're right. So we partook of that.
Right. This last summer, and I was still like, I didn't have an agent of my own. But it was a Korean agent that got me in that KBL camp, and I went there with high hopes, hoping to get drafted. Of course. Right. And, had a pretty good tournament there, but ended up didn't get drafted. But an agent seen me, and so I like your game. I want to sign you and help you out. And so I felt good about it. and just was like, okay, whatever, let me sign. And then two days later, he like, I think you got a chance to get in the PBA in the Philippines here. It's a team that's they might make a change. They ain't sure yet because they don't really like doing changes, but it might be a chance. And I'm thinking, all right, whatever, but I'm ready, whatever.
So what was your perception of Filipino basketball before you got in contact with the agent? What did you know about the Philippines and Filipino basketball?
I knew that they had a 6'5" and under league.
Yeah, that's what everybody thinks, though. The high limits.
Yeah, but it's
so the imports think it's all 6'5" and under players, even the locals.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, because
doesn't really give the Philippines a good name. But yeah,
definitely, I thought the same. And then,
but did you know that we competed in the World Cup?
All that,
pretty competitive internationally.
Competitive, of course. I knew Pacquiao. But other than that, it was just all I heard about what the Philippines was the 6'5" and under league. You know, being in that circle is weird because the Asian market, as far as worldwide basketball, is a good market.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
It's not really publicized that much for the Americans as Europe is. And I don't get it. I don't know why, but for me, I'm like, I want to stay in Asia now that I got a taste of the Asian.
Oh, really? Now?
For sure, it's a lot better basketball, and I like the style of play. Yeah.
Then you ended up with Rain or Shine.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was surprised they changed imports because the previous import, J.D. Witherspoon, was doing decently.
Right.
Now I read somewhere that they're placing it with you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
that's what I was saying because I seen his numbers and they looked decent to me, you know, and it just was 1 and 2, and you know they didn't have really any bad thing to say about the man. It's just was saying like it's just something that didn't fit with chemistry wise with the team, you know, and not that he was a bad guy or anybody had any issues with him, but you know, basketball is mostly chemistry anyway. They made the change, and I'm thankful for it because it gave me an opportunity to break into this Philippine league, which is well-recognized league. You know,
how was your first day of practice?
You know, it was like I was always there, and it was weird because you know everybody embraced me, and then we all just fit. And
he didn't get an elbow from Bo Belga.
No, he was just like whatever, you know, and he just doing his thing, you know, and everybody welcomed me really, really warmly. You know, it was like I was always there, I felt, and I think the fans of Rain and Shine could probably see that, you know, as the season went on. It's only, like you said, 11 games, but we gelled pretty quickly. I wish we would have had the whole season, but, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. But you went on a pretty good run against Talking Tex, you guys.
Yeah, I mean, bad stretch is just 40 seconds decided that game, you know. But that's basketball.
People were already counting you out.
Yeah, they thought we was done, but like I said, we clicked as a team. We gelled, and we was unfortunate for the Rain and Shine fans, and that we didn't even really get to hit our peak as a team. You know, we just got cut short.
Something I wanna touch on briefly when it comes to import playing in the Philippines is that they have such, I'm sure you know this, they have such big expectations for imports.
Right.
Of course, you're tasked to play at least 42 minutes a game.
Right.
Tasked to produce the numbers, and if you don't meet that kind of stats, I mean, they would label you as someone who can be replaced. Unfortunately, as a bust.
Right.
And I'm not really. I told this in my last episode. I'm not really in favor of that. I mean, because in the first place, it's a team game.
Right.
And the PBA, especially Rain or Shine, has a lot of talented locals who can score.
Right.
So to expect someone to just come in and score 30, grab 20 rebounds a game, is impractical.
Right.
And I'm not sure. I mean, there's been a lot of talks about you about not being that productive, not being as dominant as you should. But I mean, wins wise, I mean, the record wise, you did well. You went on a good playoff run against TNT. So yeah, I mean, I would say that was a very efficient season, and they integrated you well. You didn't have to do a lot, and that way the locals got their time to shine as well. Well, what's your take on that?
Well, of course, I heard all the stuff, and I seen the stuff where that my numbers wasn't enough or whatever you may say.
But
expectations.
23 and 10.
That's right. But more so than 23 and 10s was the wins, you know. And with the wins, you know, is the most important. And with Rain and Shine, I was fortunate that they understood that. They understood the intangibles of the game instead of more so just this go out and get 40 guy. And I could. They seen that. Like when I have to do it, I done it. And I was just fortunate enough to have teammates, great teammates that also produce numbers. And when you have guys with names, we had a lot of big name guys on our team. You don't want to come over and try to just throw them under the bus. You want them to still be a part of that team and still be a part of it, because at the end of the day, that's when you get the best results. So
and that's when team chemistry is achieved. When they're comfortable playing with you. And that series actually against Talking Tex, Gabe Norwood had some really good performances. Even Mo Belga the last game, Raymond Almazan did his thing. Even Maverick actually.
Everybody pitched in, even Jericho. You know, some guys off the bench and stuff was doing what they supposed to do, you know. And at the end of the day, when basketball overseas, most likely the imports is going to cancel each other out. You know, and it's going to come down to the local players and that chemistry, that X factor, you know. A bit of luck too. I think TNT got that luck in that second game because we was right there tooth and nail. But hats off to them for pulling away with that victory. We sure wish we would have had it, but
still was it's a great experience, I'm sure.
For sure. I would have really wished to see that semifinals. And who knows? I don't believe my career is done here. I think that after all the naysayings and I don't belong here, the organization I ran to Shine feels otherwise. So
there you go.
That's all that matters, really.
How would you, just talking about the Filipino style of play, how would you rate, not really rate, more, how does the Filipino brand of basketball differ from those of other countries that you played at, including the US? You know, we Filipinos like to watch a lot of NBA. The style of the PBA is a bit similar to the NBA.
That's I like the most about this is that it's more of an American brand type of basketball, whereas that we get to do the open steps and the different type of footwork, where in Europe they kind of cut that type of footwork out. And overall they call the game fairly, you know, fair for both sides in that they let you play. You know, sometimes it get knick-knack, but you expect that. You got to have some type of calls in the game or they get out of control. But for the most part, it's a physical brand of basketball. Not as physical as I heard it was once before, but
with the calls now,
So I don't know, but
physicality wise, just so you guys know, he played all over the world. Not only Iceland and Finland, he also played Israel. Like what I told you earlier, he played in Australia. Also played in Iraq, of all places. So I want you to compare the physicality in the PBA and in the WABA.
Pretty similar. Pretty similar. As far as physicality. Now the skill set is a whole lot better here, you know. But there they know they got to be physical, you know, and to get over. So that's very similar. in that aspect. But it's weird that they even played basketball in Iraq. I didn't even know, you know, it's a situational thing. They have to even go there, but it's experiencing well being in that type of situation. My heart go out to the citizens and the people there, because it's not really they war, you know. But what can I say?
Actually, skill-wise, definitely, especially in our guard play, definitely top-notch. One of the best, if not the best in Asia, I would say.
I'm sure I was surprised I was surprised with the basketball IQ here. You know, like you mentioned, Bo is a high IQ guy. You know, Mav and all these guys is basketball guys. You know, and you can tell in the league, like, they know basketball. Other places is kind of not like that. They play basketball, but here, y'all know the game, you know. So I respect that and I appreciated that, because as a basketball player and someone that loved the game, love to see that other people study and know the game the same.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So, had a pretty good season in the PBA. What are your plans after this?
Well, you know, I'm in a pool to be in the replacement players for the career league. This helped me get a better name.
I think their season is about to start, right?
It's about to start, you know, so hopefully I get a call to go over there and make a name for myself over there, or Japan, or somewhere else in the Asian market.
You really want to stay in Asia, huh?
I want to build my name over here, you know, and hopefully end in time to come back.
That's usually some of the route that some imports dig. They play in Korea first because they have a longer season, then go here, play in either the second or the third conference. So
right.
All the best with that, man.
Hopefully it works out.
Yeah. So let's transition a little bit. Let's go to some random questions.
Okay.
Some were made from social media, and some I concocted by myself. So are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. Where would you like to play more, the NFL or the NBA?
NBA.
Why is that?
I'm a basketball guy. You know, football is fun to play the game, but practice sucks. You know, basketball and practice is still fun because you still playing the game. Sometimes if you're an offensive guy on a defensive day in the football, you're not doing nothing. Or if you're a defensive guy on an offensive day, you just sitting there. You know, I'm just too active to just sit there. So
okay, understood.
Yeah.
Two toughest guy you played against back in college? I'm sure there were a lot.
Chase Budinger.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, he was tough. And who else was tough?
Yeah, you can play. You can name a couple more.
Yeah, I can name a few. Because James Johnson was tough too. He's been bouncing around in the NBA, but he was a tough matchup for me. Then
maybe some guys from Butler.
Matt Hayward.
Gordon Hayward.
Not Gordon Hayward. No, Howard. Matthew Howard. That's his name.
Okay.
Matthew Howard. Not Gordon Hayward. Because he was my matchup. I was playing a big game. Me and this guy had battles for 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so he
You're in the same class.
Right.
Where does he play now? I admit I don't really know about him.
I don't know if he still plays. He bounced around in the NBA a little bit.
Matt Howard?
Yeah, Matt Howard.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a stint there. Then after that, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, those guys, like you mentioned Chase, Budinger, James Johnson, they're role players in the NBA, but people don't know how good they were back in college.
It's tough, tough matchups, strong, athletic. It was tough to go against those guys and being that they was in major schools and we was mid-major, so they had a nice help supporting cast around. Like Chase Budinger had Jordan Hill, and James Johnson had Jeff Teague and all these guys. But We played against some names. Yeah, trying to on the fly think about it. But it's been a while.
Okay, no worries. Let's talk about the PBA. Toughest players you played against the PBA, both imports and locals.
Both imports and locals. You want to know who gave me a fit? Was I don't know his name, but it was the guy with the #1 blonde hair from Kia.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know him. I just it's in the back of my mind, but yeah, I know him. What did he do to you?
My first game here.
Someone there had the tactics, I would assume.
You know, it was just it was everything. Like the practice week, and I wasn't really prepared for that type of style of play. And it surprised me, and he gave me fits, you know. And of course, you know, in Ebra, they team with all that length. You know, they had their footers and stuff. That was a tough matchup for me. I was hoping we got another stab out on in this playoffs.
Can you single out a player from Ebra?
I never.
Of course, they're import Brown.
Yeah, of course.
They got some pretty good locals as well.
It was their system, you know.
The
triangle. They channel you into those 7-footers, and you know they just blocking shots, and they got a good group of guys over there with the height and stuff.
Kind of makes you think differently than the Philippines 6'5" league,
right? I know, right? I was like, hold up, you got 7-footers? That's not right. And then
how about any locals? I mean, that guy from Kia gave you fits.
Yeah.
But like, I'm talking about talented locals. So you had a hard time guarding her.
Well, mostly I was matched up against imports, but
you're talking Tex.
There's
a few talented locals. Jason Castro.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm not guarding him.
Yeah.
He's a stud too. And you had the shooters. Kelly jumps out the gym. What's my man name from San Miguel? Big guy, Jumar. He's a house, you know, and they surrounded by shooters. So they got that game pretty much.
Did you guard? Did you guard Jumar?
A little bit, because you know we tried to play with the matchups a little bit, and they didn't even play with the import that game that much. That was tough. And then who was that guy? Hold on. Number 18.
From which team?
From Blackwater. My God, he got game. No. Well, he played in the post a little bit, but he probably had like 30 or something against us. Blackwater, number 18. He
local. Probably Maliksi.
He got traded there, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, Alain Maliksi from Star.
Wow.
6'4", 6'5" guy. Length he can shoot.
Lanky, he was. Oh, and the dude from Hot Shots, Lee.
Oh yeah.
Lee got game.
Former Rain or Shine player. I'm sure your teammates told you that.
Yeah, I heard about that. He got a nice game on him as well. There's some talent. I can keep going. You know, as I think about it. It's tons of talent. A lot of shooters. A lot of big skill bigs like Bo. Bo. He's a handful. You know, just playing against him in practice, he definitely a handful. And you know, I can keep shouting out my own teammates because that's who I've seen the most. But of course, it's all.
Who guards you usually in practice? Do the wings guard you? Does Gabe guard you, or more of the bigs?
No, it's more of the bigs. We sometimes when we switch it up and I play the 3, then I'm going against like Gabe and them. But normally we was always on the same team because you know we always started
big like Bo, Jewel,
Bo, more like Mark though, Raymond, those guys that Dexter. Dexter is actually tough, man.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know much about him.
Yeah, I know. He's young, but he'll have his time to to step out into the light. I'm sure he got some moves though, like some post moves that
was surprising.
Yeah, for sure. He finishes well around the basket, but of course our guards was the most dominant as far as our play with Gabe and Maverick and Jericho and Chris Yu. Wow. So his basketball IQ is off the chart as well. Right? He just know the game and see the game from an angle where,
Were you able to still play with Jeff Chan?
No, I never played with him.
Yeah, because he got traded
right before we got him with Ed and Mark came in.
Ed.
Mr. James Yap, he's the
superstar.
Yeah, he's the man. Good guy, man. Really good guy. He showed me so much love here, and all the guys did. That's why I said they just welcomed me in so nicely. I was surprised, to be honest.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Now here's the mixer. When do you plan on cutting your hair?
The golden question, right?
Yeah.
I don't think about it.
I think you rock that hair since college.
Since my sophomore year, so it's 10 years now. It fits me, so
sure.
I don't know, maybe after retirement, and I don't plan on retiring.
Anytime soon.
Anytime soon, so I don't know, it fits me, so.
There you have it. So that concludes tonight's episode. You can follow JNathans in his social media channels. Maybe you can tell them what those are, your handles.
Well, I got Instagram, that's JDiggy35, and of course Facebook, just my name, J'Nathan Bullock, and that's it. I haven't got no Twitter yet. I probably need to do that.
All right. Thanks for your time, man. It's a pleasure talking with you.
Yes, sir.
And all the best. I'm pretty sure I'll be seeing you at the PBA.
Hopefully. I'm sure too, though.
Yeah, with his 3 conferences, you just never know.
Yeah.
And all the best with your plans and just really making a name in Asia. And you're leaving your imprint here as a basketball player. All right, man. So that's about it, everyone. I'll see you next time. I'll see you on the courtside.